Hello and welcome to one and all to this webinar on the significance of skill development and logical thinking, hosted by eDrona. I will now take the opportunity to introduce our main speakers for the sessions, Dr. Deepa Chandran and Rajasekharan A.H. Dr. Deepa Chandran is very well-known and popular academician. She is the senior principal of Sri Sharada Vidyalaya, the treasurer for Kochi Metro Sahodaya, and state treasurer for Hindustan Scouts and Guides. She is the recipient of the President's National Award for Best Teacher in 2016 and also the Best Teacher of CBSE Award in 2013. Rajasekharan is a keen researcher and robotics trainer by profession. He had already conducted several domestic and international workshops. He has also designed the training courses that are approved by Singapore Education Ministry and Malaysian HR Department. Over to you, ma'am.
I start with my session.
Yes.
Rahul, can you ask Abhijit to be admitted because Abhijit is playing the thing.
Okay, sure.
Just make Abhijit as the co-host. By the time Abhijit joins, good afternoon and welcome. And thank you for eDrona for this wonderful topic to be discussed on this day when India celebrates the 72nd Republic Day. And India is a country grown of 72 years as a republic. So we are so happy that this day and this year, this last year, 2020 was a significant year as far as a skill development and logical thinking is considered. Why? It is not because of anything, but because of the NEP, National Education Policy, which was brought out by the government. And it will be soon implemented in India across the school education and in the college education and also in the higher education sector. And right from the early child care to the top, there are, in the 60 pages document of National Education Policy, nearly 70 to 76 times they have mentioned about what you call it as vocational, which is naturally, I think, is connected to the skill development. And skill development is very important. This topic has its great significance. As you all know, this is the process of, identifying your skill gaps and then trying, developing and owning these skills. It is important that we have to develop our skills because that determines your ability to execute your plans with success. Once you have all the skills, but if you don't have, you have a professional skill, you are maybe a very good carpenter, but if you are not able to do that, if you are a very good scientist, person who deals with the theory of science, but you are not able to apply it, that is not at all useful for you in your life. Because I'm reminded of always a question which is asked to most of us when we face the real life situation after our school or college education, is that whether we are able to take the examination given by the life where it is not on the basis of subjects which we learn academically, but on the skills, on the life skills, on the basis of professional skills, on the basis of competencies what we have developed at that time. It is across subjects. So this the topic is very important because it is a very competitive advancement and the world is moving fast and rapidly changing. And new technologies keep invading most industries. transforming work process, and then you can see consumer expectations are also growing up. So the window of opportunity is closing. So we have to have, even those who are in the profession have to develop the skills and try that. We have to we have to build the gaps. First, before going on to the significance of skill development, what we have to discuss in short about what this national education policy in school education tells us about 2020. Because it is for parents, even we are talking about to parents, we have to understand that your children are the people who are going to pass through this era of skill development. And most of us we as parents always think, studying in the rote learning methodology of studying from the textbook, omitting it in the examinations will give a result, and that is how the world is going to be. And being the topper in the class is the answer for every solution. No. And I'm so happy. I think as an educationist, I will be the most happy person if the national education policy is being set up in the country and it comes to force and everyone starts seeing it and adopting it. Vision of the national education policy itself is that, it is an education system that contributes to an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing the high quality education to all. And this national education policy's vision is to develop a deep sense of respect towards our constitution, our rights and duties, and bonding us with the country, and and also an awareness of one's own responsibilities in the changing world. Third vision is very important, as you all have to go instill skills, values, and dispositions that support responsible commitment to human rights, sustainable development and living, and global well-being, thereby reflecting a truly global citizen. And so, what are the key principles which we have to look at the national education policy is it should be respecting of diversity, equity and inclusion, community participation, emphasize on conceptual understanding. This is where we have to, this our topic today, what we are discussing is not on, the text rote learnings. It is on the conceptual understanding, that it is not for learning for exams rather than rote learning and learning for exams. It is on the conceptual understanding. And that is possible only if we develop the child from the school education in such a way that along with his academic skills, he has to develop all other life skills, his every, innate abilities in him to be identified at the early stage and development for that. So another thing of the principles of NEP is the use of technology, because as you all know, when in the COVID situation, in the Corona situation, we are all connected not by traveling, but through the technology. So removing all the language barriers or, and everything, everywhere you need technology. And so equipping yourself with the technological skill is the want of the day. And I'll come to that. But before, then unique capabilities. That is when your parents are the people, those who are listening to me, recognizing and identifying what is there in every child and every student is what is the responsibility of a parent, principal, a responsibility of a school. Then to encourage logical decision making and innovations, critical thinking and creativity. Now I'll ask you a simple question to everyone who is listening to me. Can you tell me that the same job which you, type of job which you have visualized in your school days or when your college days or when you started your job, right, to earn, is it the same now? No, it has changed. So what and were you able to quickly adopt? Because maybe you will not be, because you will take some time to adjust, because some of the skills which was needed for this generation, that is the millennial millennium generation where technology has dominated, where everything happens through mobile and technology, we people would take some time and to think. So, we should think ahead of our time and hone our skills to move forward. And based on sustained research and regular, continuous review is needed by us to upskill our skills time to time. That is what the national education policy is, one of the continuous review. And next, after this continuous review, what this NEP focuses on the outcome is that that is always your universalization of access, ensure equity and inclusion, bring back 2 crores of school children who are out, because India needs to develop. And so when our Prime Minister was addressing all the time, when he was talking to the people around, he talks about Atmanirbhar Bharat, Skill India. All these projects are continuously. Why it is being told as? Because when India went into the PISA assessment of quality education, and when the assessment happened, they have taken randomly, and out of the 74, I don't remember promptly, but then out of the 74 or 75 countries which had appeared for this PISA assessment, India was ranked second last of these 73 countries. So there is a thought which that time came into our system was, we have a very good academic universities. We have not many things in our country, which is, we have scientists, we have lot of people who go abroad and work. You might now, when you think about, when you look at, the new American president, when he took over in his office, key posts were held by, many of the key posts were in Indo-American people. So it's not that we didn't have a brain in our country also, that Indians are not able to perform, but we had a lack of, an outcome-based education or a skill-based education. So that was the reason why we did not perform. So slowly our education system, they wanted a drastic change, and that was the movement towards what you call it as skill development programs, incorporating life skills, changing the methodology from rote learning to all these. So that is why parents, people also have to start thinking that what new for my child. Why? Because, the focus on 21st century skills is very important. Why the 21st century? What are the 21st century skills? I'll talk to you. But 3 C's of, 4 C's are very important in the 21st century skills, which we have to bring in our children, which we have to implement in our classrooms, at home, everywhere, to see that the child is able to build this 21st century skills in his school campuses, in his education. Then only they will be able to compete in this world. So effective governance, resource sharing, common standards for public and private school education, overcoming the language barriers in learning, these are the expected outcomes. But where we are stressing is focus on 21st century skills. So next, when we talk about transforming, so you can understand that, the education is going to be transforming curricular and pedagogical structure, where we talk about experiential learning in the sciences in the middle stage. See, in the foundational stage, when you look at this slide itself, you will be understanding it is multi-level, it is play and activity-based learning. And in a preparatory stage, where play, discovery, activity-based and interactive classroom learning is given. These are the indirect way of making the child learn the skills. Please understand that. In the middle stage of the 3 years, experiential learning in science, mathematics, art, social science, and humanities is being stressed. Why? There also, indirectly, learning outcome of a child is very much important. And for that, skill development is very important, life skill and also the professional skills. So multidisciplinary study, greater critical thinking, flexibility, and students' choice of subjects. See, to improve the efficiency, we cannot teach the children in the watertight compartments of a subject. We have to go for interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary approach in teaching. ഒരു സബ്ജക്റ്റിലേക്ക് മാത്രം ഒതുങ്ങാതെ നമ്മളുടെ സബ്ജക്ട്സ് നമ്മൾ അക്രോസ് സബ്ജക്ട്സ് കുട്ടികൾക്ക് കുട്ടികളെ പഠിപ്പിക്കണം. അവരെ നമ്മൾ ക്രിട്ടിക്കലായിട്ട് തിങ്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പഠിപ്പിക്കണം. ഏതൊരു പ്രോബ്ലത്തിൻ്റെയും സൊല്യൂഷനിലേക്ക് എത്തിപ്പെടാനായിട്ടുള്ള തിങ്കിങ് കപ്പാസിറ്റി അവർക്ക് ഉണ്ടാക്കി കൊടുക്കണം. ആൻഡ് ദാറ്റ് ഷുഡ് ഹാപ്പൻ ഇൻ യുവർ schools, and for that, schools have to change the pedagogy. So that same is what even the parents have to understand, that the total mark is not the total marks of the subjects is not important. It is the learning outcome, what the child learns after this is what is important. So another, the curriculum 2020 is to be transformed to promote skill-based and minimize rote learning, which I have already told to you. Now, what the government is going to do is, a curriculum in all subjects to be reduced. Core content matter is going to be interactive learning is going to take place. Questions from students will be promoted. That is which leads to, logical thinking, critical thinking. Questions ചോദിക്കാൻ കുട്ടികൾ ചോദിച്ചു പഠിക്കണം. അതായത് എന്ത്, എങ്ങനെ, why, what, how, ഇത് എങ്ങനെ സംഭവിക്കുന്നു, ഇത് എങ്ങനെയാണ്, അങ്ങനെ വേണം കുട്ടികൾ പഠിക്കാൻ. അവർക്കൊരു എൻക്വയറി വേണം, ഒരു ഡിസ്കവറിങ് വേണം, ഒരു കേസ് ബേസ്ഡ് സ്റ്റഡി ആയിരിക്കണം അവരുടെ ക്ലാസ് റൂംസിലും. അവരെ എന്തും നമ്മൾ പ്രത്യേകമായിട്ട് ചിന്തിക്കാൻ പഠിപ്പിക്കണം. അവർ പഠിക്കുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങൾ, ഹൗ ദേ ആർ ലേണിംഗ്, അതിന്റെ ഔട്ട്കം ഈസ് വെരി ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ്. അതെങ്ങനെ അവർക്ക് അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നു. നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ ഒരു ബൾബിന്റെ കാര്യം പറഞ്ഞു കൊടുക്കണു, പക്ഷെ ബൾബ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ലൈറ്റ്, LED ലൈറ്റ് എങ്ങനെ പ്രവർത്തിക്കുന്നു നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞു കൊടുക്കണം. പക്ഷെ ആ ലൈറ്റ് ജസ്റ്റ് നമ്മൾ തിയറിയിൽ മാത്രമാണെങ്കിൽ വാട്ട് ദ ചൈൽഡിന് എങ്ങനെ അതിന്റെ സർക്യൂട്ട്സ് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നു, ഹൗ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് കമ്മിങ് ഔട്ട് എന്നുള്ളത് the child should understand, should ask questions, should think about it. It is not textbook based. It is asking questions, how, why, what, it can. Albert Einstein ഒക്കെ ചോദിച്ചതുപോലെ അങ്ങനെ ചിന്തിക്കുന്ന ആ ഒരു ലെവൽ ഓഫ് തോട്ട് പ്രോസസ് ഹാവ് ടു കം ഫ്രം ദ ചൈൽഡ് ഇൻ ദ ഇനീഷ്യൽ സ്റ്റേജസ് ഇറ്റ് സെൽഫ്. അപ്പോൾ അതിനാണ് നമ്മുടെ സ്കിൽ എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻസും ഈ ലോജിക്കൽ തിങ്കിങ് ഒക്കെ നമ്മൾ എൻകറേജ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. സോ what is experiential learning is also another factor which through fun, through different methods in the classrooms, outside, collaborative, one of the important skill of 21st century is itself is collaborative. We are not working as individuals, we are working in groups. So how to work in a team, how to create a new outcome out of this, how to be, that all can happen only if you reflect upon what you have done. So experiential learning is giving an experience to the child, making the child do something. Out of that a reflection is taken. Out of that the child has to come out with a suggestion of what is the new founding he has got and how he will be able to apply. So these type of things should happen in the child when the child goes to the school, when child is undergoing a school education, because there the most important thing happens, that is building up of all these essential things for that total development. So next is the focus is on, and see, you can look at this slide, all the those who are attending will be able to understand what does the focus is on. Focus is on the learning outcomes, competencies and subject integration. So competency means what? You are the outcome is important. There will not be any hard difference between the subjects. There will not be any difference between sports, arts, academics, no academics, vocational and digital literacy. And then see, when you talk about development of scientific temper and inculcation of knowledge and practice, is that scientific temper is when you practice that scientific temper, what happens, you develop a habit of human and constitutional values also. Why? Because you understand that is wrong myths, or you can understand scientifically, you can question. So you will understand that non-violence, truth, honesty, peace, everything will be developed when you have the development of scientific temper. And when you learn across subjects, art integrated or in technology integrated or storytelling based pedagogy, it's all are what happens with the child starts critically thinking, creative thinking. When the role plays, such type of activities happens in the classes, the child is able to make a problem, child is able to arrive at decision making. So the competencies are the one which we have to make the child involved in when we do the sessions or when we talk to the children. So this is what, this digital literacy, coding, and are very much important. Emphasis on digital literacy is very important, because now when you open your Facebook, when you are moding, where you hear coding, digital literacy, computational thinking, ethical and moral reasoning, all these contents. Coding, why it is coding and all, because now everything is based on every platform. You artificial intelligence you want to explore, your computer, your mobiles, everything works on a system called coding. So the child who is going to coding helps you to think in a very mathematical, in a logical way also, and think something very creatively. So emphasis on the digital literacy is must. So you just you have to think, the thought process what we are having now should change, because it is mandatory for students to acquire skills in health and nutrition, physical education, fitness, wellness, and sports. So, why every mandatory skill of to be health, nutrition, physical education, fitness, wellness. In addition to that, the children should get into the basic training in preventive healthcare, mental health, first aid, personal and public hygiene. Why? Because see, the type of situation which we are going through now, of course, we did not experience in so many years. Now we experience sitting inside homes to take our health, to put sanitizers, to cover with the mask, then washing, then first everything, public hygiene, personal hygiene, because environment is getting polluted. So if we don't make them aware or skilled in these areas also, they will not be able to they will not be they will have to be in their future with this. So the total, as I have already told before, integration of technology and integrated pedagogy has to happen in the school. So India, as you all know, India's future and India's leadership role in upcoming field, that is very, all of you should be aware of. Mathematics and computational thinking throughout the school years should happen. Computational thinking should happen. And activities involving coding should be introduced in the school. That is what the NEP also says. Mathematical thinking and problem solving through a variety of innovative methods, including the regular use of puzzles and games. I would even suggest, schools should go for, if you are still sticking on to the old traditional methods, parents also should think about, when you decide for a school or something where your child has to do, the school should have variety of opportunities for the children to add up to their skills. It is not going to be just that in the classroom, textbook is being read by the teacher asks a child to whatever is to learn, mug up, or to rote learning without any experiential thinking, without experiential learning, without any problem solving ability being developed, without any mathematical thinking happen, then that is not good for the child. Because child should to sustain to live his life in the 21st century, should have these 21st century skills, should have mathematical thinking, should have problem solving skills, should be teaching of in the schools. There should be children should be, if the school doesn't give an opportunity, at least parents should try that to children should be made aware about artificial intelligence, design thinking, holistic health, organic living, environmental education, educational citizenship education, global citizenship education. There are a lot many things which the child should know along with their subjects. So and now even in CBSE schools, when I come from a CBSE school background, so even in 6th standard onwards, we have been, the Central Board of Secondary Education has asked artificial intelligence and skill-based subjects to be introduced from the class 6 itself, and to carry up to the 12th standard with artificial intelligence giving much importance, design thinking with lot of importance, ICT being given importance, and so many of skill courses being introduced, so that child learns from the school itself what are the basics he needs for his concrete background. And when we talk about a child, because I was asked to talk to the parent today, I always would suggest to say that, it's not going to be a progress card of what the child is finding it difficult to present to the parent, because it doesn't contain anything else than the marks of his science, social science, maths, Hindi or English, whatever. But now it is going to be so different. Child brings to you a 360-degree multi-dimensional report, where the child's everything in the school will be assessed. That is, even the parent will be involved, even his friends will be involved for the assessment, even his teacher will be involved for the assessment. It will not be a frightening assessment. It will be a project-based assessment or a case study-based assessment, where the child's total development, where he is capable of, where he has contributed, what are his skills, what are his personal assets as values, what the child has, will be also taken into. So, artificial, AI-based software will be developed in the school across school years to help when the child selects his career. He knows that he should be made to realize in his school life itself, what is his skill for, where is his assets are in his personal traits, so that can be developed in his future. Many of us will be, would have thought now that after we reach a stage, we identify that we are not good for this, we were good for something else, our taste was like that, our skill was like that. But due to some reasons, we were not able to hone our skills and develop into that areas. Some of them were not lucky enough to get that opportunities. So here in the school itself, this national education policy says that we have to trace the child's development in such a way that the child makes the career optimal situations. And so integrating vocational education at all levels was talked about. The skill framework is given, vocational crafts is being given. They have told that, focus areas based on skill gap analysis and making of local opportunities. So the children come to know about what are the opportunities for them, and there should be a practice-based curriculum in schools. Skill framework qualification, for each profession or vocation has to be. That is why, because after this, India wants to transform itself into a developed nation, and would transform to, after in the next assessment itself, our education should suit, that we should not have unemployment due to the lack of skill development in our. So on this version, as now it is eDrona, which is having this session now. eDrona has a digital platform where it's far ahead of time. When the COVID came, I think they are associated in such a way that they have online and digital education from the school children to the continuous learners without any age limit. So the learning can happen at any time. The blended learning is what is it's very effective, online and offline, in the both way. The blended learning happens. That is also being encouraged in everywhere because of, I think, the corona has taught us to be on the digital platform, and all educational initiatives have been encouraged. So this is what we have to make. The children must be taught how to think, not what to think. We have to make our children taught how to think, not what to think. That is where we have to think, because we wanted the 21st century skills of the children to be developed. As you know, the 4 C's of the children of 21st century skills are very important. That is communication, creativity, critical thinking, and collaboration. Because the child should know to solve his problems, child should be innovative, child should be able to present before others his ideas, he should be able to work in a team, that all skills are needed whichever way you compete, in whichever profession you take it up, whichever places you work in. So next is what is skill development, is developing the skills, which is what developing skill for yourself, and your skills development will add to the value of the organization when you grow up and on your for career development also. So skill development is very, very important for your skill development. And what is the necessity of this skill development is, for the, in an advancing world, you have to survive. You have to compete with others. You have to go to the higher level to achieve success. And for a nation to develop, other people coming in the field, you have to have a necessity of skill development is very much needed in this. Please don't think that textbook knowledge will give you everything. You should have skill development, and education should lead to skill development, and skill development should lead to employment. So this is the need of the hour. We wanted skilled people, we wanted training and sharing. So children should develop, school should have a platform where it is to be developed. As to quote our Prime Minister, skilling is building a better India. If we have to move India towards development, then skill development should be our mission. So when we talk about skill development, I would like to stress on some of my points on life skill development. Life skill development is very much needed, and that cannot be given in a chapter wise or in a textbook wise. It is to be learned in a sequential way when we grow up, and developmental stage of a child is very important. From the being a small child, what the child has to learn. When you go to the second stage, what the child has to learn. But third stage of his physical development, mental development, and cognitive development, psychological development, he has to attain some development stages. So that is done only by learning and doing the activities. So this is what, as you have seen, style development, physical development is there, cognitive development is there, psychological development is there. I am stressing on the cognitive development now because, physical development, as you all know, there is, in this time limit, I cannot expand much, but it is like your motor development. Cognitive development is through the experiment, through immediate experiment, the child is knowing his or her world. And as you know, the baby's cry is his or her first language. So cognitive development is progressing from knowing his or her own world. Psychological development, as you know, total dependence to increasing independence. So understanding self and others, that is the psychological development which the child should have it. But when you talk about concrete development, school years, that is age 7, age through 11, the child should develop the ability to understand logical principles. That is the very important development which should happen in the child. And children should be able to, because at that time, children are able to organize their knowledge. So the children's increasing ability to understand the structure and possibilities of language is increasing at that age. So there we have to nourish our child's logical thinking, because what happens during the adolescence, that is age through 10 to 18, many young people are able to understand and create general principles and use scientific reasoning. That is happening in the development of the child. So if the appropriate during that developmental stage, if appropriate decisions are not given, appropriate trainings are not given, appropriate guidance are not given to the child's proper development will not take place. And education, as it is told, it's more important, but skill is the most important thing which everyone should understand. Skill is very, very important, and life skills are very important. As I told you, there are 10 it is a lifeline, it is useful for life. If the child has to survive, the student has to survive in classroom and to the world outside, they should know the life skills, and that is learned through direct experiences, and through working in groups and to working in individual levels, and given chance to solve their problems effectively in the daily life, they have to develop the life skills properly at different stages. Many of us understand that, many of the time, due to the emotional imbalance, or because of the lack of, we are not able to take our decisions on the right time, because we are not able to understand a problem, we fail in our life. We know what is the content, but we are not able to apply it. These are all maybe because of emotional reasons, maybe because of lack of decision making, maybe because we are not able to cope up with stress, or we are not able to what you call it as we don't have that communication skills, or maybe we don't have that creative thinking. We fail in life. So life skills are very important, because that is the one which brings the positive effects in a child. So in the 21st century, all these skills are very much important. And this is why, because it's important to evolve skill training among children from an early age itself. Why I'm talking about this is because we give less importance to these things now, and that cannot be. We cannot put it into the back side of the seat. We have to see that it is in the front side. It is important that the child learns the life skill and skill training at a very early age, because creative craft work, decision making, problem, as I told you, collaboration, communication with a sense of responsibility to society, comes under life skill. Teamwork, communication, problem solving, initiative and enterprises, learning, technology, self-awareness, planning and organizing. This should be the part of education. This should be the part of everyday child's classroom learning, and at home also, because you should encourage the child the child's thinking power. And as far as schools are concerned, the children should see that, the parents should also see that, in the schools, it is made compulsory, because children will come out struggling in the real world. So to have a mental, social, and physical skills to make them ready for leading a better after school life, this life skill is very important. And it should also, these are the 10 minimum, I have summed up this UNESCO's 10 important life skill, which a child should: empathy, that is when you step into other person's shoes, what we feel; critical thinking; problem solving skill; creative thinking; interpersonal relationship, നമ്മൾ അങ്ങോട്ടും ഇങ്ങോട്ടും എങ്ങനെ റിലേഷൻഷിപ്സ് ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നു, നമ്മൾ ഇമോഷൻസ് വരുമ്പോൾ എങ്ങനെ കോപ്പ് അപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്നു, നമ്മൾ എങ്ങനെയാണ് സ്ട്രെസ്സിനെ മാനേജ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. നമ്മൾ സ്ട്രെസ് മാനേജ് ചെയ്തില്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മുടെ ഡിസിഷൻസ് തെറ്റും. We will be, if we are not able to make the stress, we are not able to cope up with the stress, we will be taking wrong decisions. If we are not self-aware about what was this happening, again we will be wrong in decision taking. So we will not be able to we will not be successful in our life. Whatever content if you don't have these skills, you will not be able to survive. If you have a problem, you have to analyze the problem from all the ends, and then analyze what can be the solution. You have to creatively think about it. You have to analyze the problem critically. You have to think. So these are all the skills which we need to be successful. So these life skills we should develop in a child, and that is the importance of is called presently very much into our field. Then most of this, as I have already told you, I think you can put the next slide, Abhijit. Giving them skill development in schools, give them some options on the onset of teenagers, give them the chance to explore and learn more things beyond their textbooks. And then is that, early age, if the skill is given to the child, creative thinking or coordination, all these skills, if given at much early age, what happens is we have to have some life skill activities happening. So the child will have a stronger foundation for academic as well as professional front. See, when parent think about academic achievement also, if an academic achievement is to be built, life skill cannot be a different part of teaching. It is a part of academic achievement also, as well as in the professional front. So as we all know, communication, accountability, time management, critical thinking, professionalism are the skills which we have to develop. It should go hand in hand. Everything should go in hand. It cannot be a separate thing, because as you all know, when you are able to analyze yourself, when you have the appreciation for other people, when you are able to work in cooperation and joint effort, and you are able to analyze the alternative, make decision and understand, then specific decisions you are capable. So skill development helps you to acquire all these. And next, Abhijit. So the more we develop, as I have told you, society as a whole will be developed if you have skilled people at the society, because that is why we say, many of our even children go out. Some of the people we have to hire from outside, because we don't have the vocational skilled education people in our country or in our area. So according to the local needs, this vocational skill education and the skill educations, like you have the technical skills or whatever the development of technology happen around in the world, has to reach up to the children in our schools, so in the earlier periods itself, so that they come out successfully. So that is why we talk about the skill development. And in that, logical thinking is a very important skill that people have to acquire. Why? It is what is logical thinking? It is derived from a thought process and backed by facts. It's an opposite of emotional thinking, because in emotional thinking, which follows a subjective approach and which is actually derived from our feelings, and when we talk about left brain and right brain is actually responsible for logical thinking, because in the logical thinking, we are asking the children to learn in such a way where why, where, how, while resolving a problem, more objective approach. And this logical thinking helps in the understanding of maths and science, and process the information from a part to the whole. So, those sequences hidden in numbers, symbols, and letters are much clearer when arranged in logical order. So, you have to encourage the children to learn logically. Logical thinkers, they observe, they are able to analyze the phenomena, reactions, and feedback, and then on the basis of that, they can draw conclusions. So, suppose a logical thinker aanengil, or sales representative ആവട്ടെ, ആൾ എന്താ ചെയ്യുക എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, ആളുടെ പ്രസന്റേഷൻ ആൾക്കാർക്ക് യൂസർ ഫ്രണ്ട്ലി ക്വാളിറ്റീസ് വെച്ചുകൊണ്ടായിരിക്കും ആ പ്രോഡക്റ്റിനെ ഹൈലൈറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് കാണിക്കുക. ആൾ എങ്ങനെയായിരിക്കും മനസ്സിലാക്കുക? ബിക്കോസ് കസ്റ്റമേഴ്സിന്റെ അടുത്ത് അതിന്റെ ഫീഡ്ബാക്ക് കിട്ടിയിട്ട് ആ ഫീഡ്ബാക്ക് ഓൺ ദ ബേസിസ് ഓഫ് ദാറ്റ് ഫീഡ്ബാക്ക് അതിന്റെ യൂസിനെ കുറിച്ചും ആ പ്രോഡക്റ്റിനെ മേടിക്കുന്നതിനെ കുറിച്ചും നമ്മൾ ഹൈലൈറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് കൊടുക്കും. വൈ? ബിക്കോസ് ഹി നോസ് ദാറ്റ് ഹി ഒബ്സർവ്സ്, ഹി ഹാസ് എ ഫിനോമിന, he knows the reactions, he has the feedback, and on the basis of conclusion he draws, he inputs, he gets, he is able to prepare a strategy, and that is why logical thinking is very important. So logical it is very much important for any workplace environment. നമ്മൾക്ക് ഒരു പ്രോബ്ലം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, at any level ഒരു പ്രോബ്ലം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, ആ പ്രോബ്ലമിന്റെ എക്സ്പെർട്ടൈസ് നമ്മുടെ കയ്യിലുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, നമ്മൾ ആ മോർ ലോജിക്കൽ സ്കിൽസ് നമ്മൾ ആ വർക്ക് പ്ലേസിൽ യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് ഡിസിഷൻസ് നന്നായിട്ട് ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ പറ്റും. So we will end up in only few mistakes will happen from it, because self-improvement, we are by forcing, we have an intellectual self-improvement, because we consider the hard fact even when you are assessing your own performances. So you become a more better team player, and because emotions nalla importance, നിങ്ങളുടെ ഈഗോയ്ക്കല്ല, അങ്ങനെ ഒരു കാര്യങ്ങൾ നിങ്ങളുടെ ജഡ്ജ്മെന്റിന്റെ ഇടയ്ക്ക് വരില്ല. ലോജിക്കൽ തിങ്കിങ് ഉള്ള ഒരു ഡെവലപ്മെന്റ് നിങ്ങളുടെ കയ്യിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഉണ്ടായാൽ, സോ കുട്ടികൾക്കും നമ്മൾ വി ഹാവ് ടു മേക്ക് ദ ചിൽഡ്രൻ തിങ്ക് വെരി വെരി ലോജിക്കലി, സോ ദാറ്റ് ഇമോഷണലി നമ്മൾ ഡിസിഷൻസ് എടുക്കില്ല, ഈഗോ നമ്മുടെ കയ്യിൽ വരില്ല, ജഡ്ജ്മെന്റ്സ് ഒക്കെ ബേസ്ഡ് ഓൺ ദ ലോജിക്കൽ തിങ്കിങ്. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് വാട്ട് ഈസ് നീഡഡ്. അതിനാണ് ഒരു സയന്റിഫിക് തിങ്കിങ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. നമുക്ക് ലോജിക്കൽ തിങ്കിങ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ കുറച്ചുകൂടെ ക്രിയേറ്റീവ് ആയിരിക്കും. നമ്മൾ അക്രോസ് സബ്ജക്ട്സ് പഠിക്കുന്നതല്ല, നമുക്കൊരു ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ ലെവൽ, നമ്മൾ ഇപ്പോൾ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് പഠിച്ചാൽ അത് മറ്റ് സബ്ജക്റ്റുമായിട്ട് എങ്ങനെ റിലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാം, അതിന് എങ്ങനെ ഒരു പുതിയ പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ആക്കാം, പുതിയ സ്കിൽ എങ്ങനെ ആക്കാം, പുതിയ കാര്യങ്ങൾ എങ്ങനെ ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്യാമെന്ന് അതിന് ഓർഗനൈസേഷന് വേണ്ടി ഉപയോഗിക്കാൻ പറ്റും, നമ്മുടെ ഇൻഡിവിജ്വൽ ലെവലിലേക്കും ഇംപ്രൂവ്മെന്റ്സ് ഉണ്ടാവും. സോ അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ആൾക്കാരുടെ, അങ്ങനെയുള്ള സ്കിൽഡ് പീപ്പിളിനെയാണ് നമുക്ക് ഇനി സ്വന്തമായിട്ടൊരു കാര്യം തുടങ്ങുന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ പോലും നമുക്ക് വേണ്ടത് ലോജിക്കൽ തിങ്കിങ് സ്കിൽസ് ആണ്. അത് അവസാനം കൊണ്ടുവച്ച് ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്യാം എന്ന് നിങ്ങൾ ഒരിക്കലും വിചാരിക്കരുത്. ചെറിയ പ്രായത്തിൽ തന്നെ we have to, at a smaller, very early age, we have to develop the logical thinking skills in the child. It is not that after a certain age we can ask thinking. No, from the beginning itself we have to have the logical thinking skill. And how to improve the logical thinking skills is some of the few methods which I can ask I can discuss with the parents is this. Develop the habit of questioning. Make the child hone your questioning skill and use them everywhere. Whatever information you make the child there, understand that whatever the child has information have collected, whether facts and figures or simply assumptions, verify it all. Check your information, investigate every piece of information with slightly questioning way. In that, the parent role and the teacher's role is also very important. When a child asks you a question, when the child is inquisitive about it, you should check everything and then you should ask them to brainstorm. You should make child ask you more and more so that the child will be developing the habit of questioning, not to stop the questioning before. And then when we grow up, we will have we will also think that we start checking authenticity before you evaluate any information you have gathered. So when you have any information comes to you, we will develop a habit of asking why, how, what, is it right? So that that is being. So can you imagine that after a certain age you talk about developing this habit? No, right from the beginning the child should be allowed to develop the habit of questioning. Then adjust your perspective. As second thing is understand that you may have as a human being by determining what exactly they are and how they may affect the way you deal with the information. So be flexible enough to look at a problem. Ask the child to look at from different perspectives, and there may be long held beliefs which we have, but you have to contradict your long held belief, accept with open-minded and entertain any new information without personal biases that you may have. So second was adjust your. Then third was it is just before slide up, Abhijit. Then next is learn to put it all together. Try to make you also, and you make the children also, to organize their thoughts, whether by writing or by using mind mapping to help you clarify them first. Then you can examine all informations you have, figure out relationships among these bits of collected information and determine which one were the highest value. Put all your options. Once you have put them in front of you, then make a decision or come up with a solution. So this is how you have to make it into. Then you make logical conclusions. Now when I talk, it may be sounding silly, but try to think in a conditional statement, and that and assume every time that but it may be consequences small and perhaps insignificant facts, but find causes and consequences, and see that the conclusions and functions you have. Make a logical conclusion for everything. Example was already there. So this is then after since you are a logical thinking is putting all that pieces together. So strategic thinking also is very important in that process, because being a strategic thinker will not only supercharge your brain, it will be useful asset for work-related decisions and even for personal life successes. Thinking about what is ahead, questioning everything, seeking patterns, coming to a conclusion, and learning from your mistakes, sharpen your strategic thinking. The children should be made to think strategically. When you play board games, card games, video games, and designing a strategy for sports events, you should acquire that purpose. Just as it is important to find your inner balance, work on your other, keep your brain constantly active with challenging game and tasks so that you improve your logical intelligence. So which is very crucial for successful and thus harmonic life. So, discover your inner, as in Sherlock Holmes, it is being told. So how the child can think critically. The 5 just simple ways before I wind up. Invite them to be clear by asking for explanation examples when they don't understand. Let children know it's okay to be confused and ask questions. Second is that is urge the kids to be accurate, to check if something is true by researching the facts. Ask the children, they will develop the critical thinking. Encouraging the children to be relevant, discussing other topics that are pertinent to the discussion or problem at hand. They have a problem at hand or they have a case study in their hand, discuss about the topic. Help them stray on the track by linking related and meaningful information and trying to answer on the topic they are learning about. So encouraging child to be relevant is very important. Fourth, you can support your child's ability to be logical. How can the things fit together? Question how she came to her conclusion, whether her assumptions were correct. So then the child will start be very logical, and set expectations that your child be fair. Promote empathy in his thinking process. Make sure he considers others when drawing conclusions. So that is also a way of critically thinking and arriving at a problem. Before why I'm telling you is I'm reminded about this word when we used to hear long back. I think all of you might have heard. Now, many terms are coming in, but this is a very common term, which we use in computers. That is, I was talking about, life skill is very important. Logical thinking is important. Creative thinking is important. Critical thinking is important, because all these skills have to be developed, integrated with their academics, and by the help of teachers and parents, so that the child, when comes out of the school education or his formal education and comes into a profession, we don't talk about that at the last minute. So what has to be put in the child in the age that has to be given, because garbage in and garbage out, that is called as ego. So I'm reminded, before I conclude, I'm reminded about to talk to you. That when we saw elephant moving around, and elephant has maybe tied to a small rope, it doesn't have that much, the strength may not be having, the rope may not be having that much of strength. But then we always wonder why such a mighty elephant cannot pull away that rope and run away and even kick the people, those who have tied the elephant there. As a child, when I was a child, I remember I would ask, why this small, it is only a small rope, why the elephant cannot pull it and go. So I remember my father telling, conditioning is very important. Conditioning is very important. As a child, when the elephant was a baby elephant, the elephant was tied to a rope, with a rope, and the baby elephant, was able to move only till the length of the rope was. So it tried and tried and tried, but it was not able to move more than that. So it's a small baby, and then the elephant is conditioned to think that I only till the length of the rope the elephant will be able to, and it cannot move more than that. So that conditioning has happened as a baby. So when the elephant grows up, elephant also, the grown up elephant, the big thinks that I can only move till that the length of the rope is being there. So it also never tries to come out of. So this is a big message for all of us here. That is, children are in the childhood, we should not condition them to things which we think is right. We have to put in them all these life skills, all these reasoning, logical thinking, critical thinking in them, problem solving methodology, above emotional level to come out and have an empathy, coping with trust. They should have these life skills developed, and logical thinking, scientific temper to be developed, so that they come out successfully, and as a part will become successful. They should not be into the bookworms, as into the academics alone. They should be able to apply. For that, skill development and logical thinking is a must. So remember, what is in will only come out. So garbage in and garbage out. So think this gigo word and think about the elephant, and see that our children are put in with a lot of these type of skill development, so that they come out very successfully, not like the small baby elephant which was conditioned. So let us condition them to think in a very different way. Thank you so much, eDrona, for giving me a time to speak on this day. I don't know, within the short time, whatever I could communicate, I have put it into. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, thank you, ma'am. If anybody have doubts, please use the chat box. Ma'am, you are mute. You are on mute.
Okay, sorry. I could see many children here. As an educationist, I would ask to tell you, ask questions, whatever your interests are. Try to solve the problems, and do it in a very by asking questions, how it is happening, why it is happening, why this cannot be happening like that, why it cannot happen like that. So that will give you many answers. So from that you can derive what it is right and how you can. So you learn in a very better way, which is naturally very good for your development. And that is how you have to be. You should be a logical thinkers always, with a scientific temper. And Gigo is garbage in and garbage out, which is the computer language. One has asked me in the chat box, garbage in and garbage out. So whatever you are putting inside the child will only be, coming out. So if you are not putting the right thing into the child, the right thing will not come out. So in the smaller ages itself, we have to build the logical thinking. We have to condition that. We should not condition in a way which we like. We have to give them an open platform to think in a very reason, in a logical thinking way, and we should put all the life skills into them, into different methodologies in the home and in the school, so that when they come and face the world, they are equipped with every skill, not only professional skills, the life skills also. And for that, one of the skills which they need is problem solving, critical thinking, and logical. So it has to happen in the childhood. That is what I was thinking about. As if, that is why I told the story of elephant also. As a child, elephant is being conditioned to think in the way. So the child, when it becomes a very mighty elephant also, it thinks in the same way as we are. So we cannot expect that a child should think differently when the child grows up. The scientific temper, the reasoning, everything, problem solving ability should develop, leadership abilities, decision making, all should take place at a very initial stage itself.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm Praharsha.
Yes.
From Hyderabad, ma'am.
Very good. Yes.
Ma'am, your class was very wonderful. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Praharsha. You had a very good skill of, appreciating and others. So actually, it is not it is not for appreciating me. I told you like this because you have a leadership ability. So you started first to speak. So you are showing others also. So keep up this ability in you and develop yourself. All the best, dear.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Is it okay now? I think the next person can speak.
Okay,
Otherwise,
okay. Thank you,
so
Dr.
much.
Deepa, for your insightful and impactful words. We now invite Mr. Rajasekharan sir to address the group. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepa ma'am. So, yeah. So thank you, Deepa ma'am, because as an educator, you had given lots of insights and some of the valuable knowledge, that would really help the educators like me. So thank you for the wonderful presentation, ma'am.
Rajasekharan, you will be the right person to talk to them about the technology and aspects and engineering because you have the 15 years of experience. I talked about from a view of a principle that how it can be. So all the best to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. And thanks to eDrona team for giving me the opportunity to speak this day. Happy Republic Day to all of you. So now let me talk about that particular one skill, which we call it as STEM skill. Okay, so STEM, I'll be talking everything, that will be relating with this particular skill, which is STEM. Okay, because this is what I've been doing for the last 5 years. So, everything will be related to this. Okay, so there are like so many skills. Children will get a various opportunity to explore different sets of skills. Okay, but this is that one skill. Okay, inside that so many things will be coming. Okay, slowly I'll be taking you through all the things that will be coming inside STEM. But first of all, let me give you the basic idea about STEM, because most of you might have known nowadays, because the last couple of years it's been a quite common term which is used in so many areas. So still I would like to start from the scratch. So it's like STEM, which means it's a science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And the word actually is been introduced in 2001 by National Science Foundation, USA. And it's a interdisciplinary approach where the academic concepts will be coupled, you'll be bringing in all the concepts like science, technology, engineering, mathematics together, and you can do multiple projects on that, and making yourself learn something new inside the STEM lab. Okay, so STEM is actually considered to be the mother of so many technologies. Okay, for example, if you take robotics, AI, everything are going to come from STEM. So that is why I call STEM as the mother of everything. Okay, every technical stuff that are going to come today or in future, whatever it may be, but the basic skill we call it as STEM in schools. Okay, now it's been implemented now in more than 140 countries. Okay, I also would like to say that 5 reasons that I found why STEM education is needed at a very early stage. Okay, so when the STEM was founded in USA as National Science Foundation, everything, okay, they also shared few insights where 80% of the future job skills will demand STEM knowledge. Okay, 80% of the future job skills demand STEM knowledge. Okay, so the solution is like STEM, which is the need of the hour, which we are we have to introduce it to the students at a very early age, so that in future there will not be any scarcity of experts in that particular field. Okay, so you will be getting the right resources for the right job. Okay, so these things will happen only if STEM education is introduced for the children at a very, very early age. So in 2025, it's been assumed that 3.5 million STEM jobs, okay, that will be added, but we will not be able to get the right resources, because 2 million jobs go unfilled because of the scarcity in the expertise. Okay, so thing is, like, in a very, very short time, we need to cultivate the resources who should be able to acquire the required talent for this required jobs. So how we are going to get it? Okay, for example, in the 4 years of engineering life, you have got lot of things to be done that is there in the textbook. So once you come out of this 4 years of engineering life, you will not be able to get placed in a company where that company is demanding some of the latest technologies available in the market. because in the 4 years of textbook, none of them are going to teach you that, okay, or none of them you will be learning in the textbook. You need to, move on to something advanced what industry is looking for. The 4 years of engineering life, it only gives you the basics idea of, which subject that you are selecting. Okay, but to get into jobs like this, what you have to do is you should be having the basic knowledge, that knowledge should be learned in the school. Okay, and now in the 4 years of engineering life, you will get more time to explore the new technologies that is coming. Every day technology is growing, every day, every single second technology has been growing. So you don't get time to keep on yourself updated. So basically the idea is like, spend your maximum childhood. If you're interested, if you think that your kid is going to be an engineer, is going to be a techno expert, something like that, if you find out that this is the area my child is going to take his future, then put him maximum into the areas like this, let him explore, okay, and give him the opportunity. Okay, so that will be my suggestion to the parents. So that's all, because the point what I want to tell you is everyday technology is growing. So you will not be getting the time in future to learn those advanced stuff. Whatever has to be learned, that has to be done today, and you have to at least start it by today. Okay, so slowly by down the line, after a few years, he will become a master in few areas, few skills that comes inside this STEM, and in that way he will be able to focus more on the advanced technologies that are going to come from this basics, and in such a way that you will be able to see that he will become an expert or he will become a leader in that particular area. So 85% of the employees say that K-12 students are not prepared for the fourth industrial revolution space and their lack of 21st century skill sets. Okay, best example here is like, once child comes for the +1, parent, always they want to take both maths and biology. Most of the parents, they want it, because if this is not there, let him try that. If that is not there, let him try this. Okay, so this mindset needs to be changed, first of all. Okay, so if you have already decided that your son is going to be an engineer or is going to be in some tech areas, then why do you have to focus on the other areas? So this is what I've been put there. 12th class students, they are not prepared. They do not know what to be taken next. Okay, so the idea here is and the fourth industrial revolution, the area that you can see that textile, steel, that is the revolution 1, then 2 automobile machines, then 3 computers, and now we are heading towards this industrial revolution 4, which is going to be a massive opportunity for the young children today, and they need to get into these things as early as possible. So this is one of the reason why, before they are getting into this K-12, they just need to find out their area of interest and focus on that particular area of interest, so that they will be become an expert when they come into this profession. Yes, that is the idea. So exploring them, basic coding, AI, robotics, everything, whatever possible, because now everything is available for children to explore. Google is supporting, Microsoft is supporting. They are giving some free softwares for the children to explore. So easily they could do it from their home. They can do it from their home. So using all these opportunities available in the market, they need to get themselves equipped and develop their literacy here, and just moving on to next level. If they have learned the basics of coding, then now go on to intermediate level, then go to advanced level. Now go for the applications of this coding area. Application of coding in the sense, now they can move into robotics, AI projects, etc. So that is how we need to groom these children. Okay, so this is the fourth point. 75% of the students, they are unprepared and they are unable to make their career decisions. So only after reaching after getting their +2 marks, they will decide their career. So that thing has to be changed here. Okay, so you will be able to have got enormous time during their school days, that you will be able to find out what is his area of interest, what is his skill which is dominating inside him, and you will be able to particularly find it out, and you should encourage him that particular area, And in future the kid is going to become a master in that. That's how. So forcing the kids to select an area of interest will be spoiling the students. So you have got enormous time during the school time that you will be able to find out his area of interest. Okay, so here also again STEM is an idea, like where if you can put him inside and you can check if this is his area or not. If not, you will have to find out what is his area of interest. So while we train, we have our children, they coming, around might be 80% of the students, they might do well, but 20% may not do well. The reason is like they are forced to put inside this coding. So advice to the parents would be that if you find that he is not interested in this area, then you will have to find out what is his area of interest. Could be in sports, could be in music, dance, etc. So you will have to find out what is his area of interest. And now, most of the children, they are distracted by these gadgets, mobile, laptops, etc., playing games, exploring more with the gadgets, playing like etc. So here, the idea is like now these mobile phones and laptops can be used for a good cause, where children will be able to develop their own games using laptop. They can develop their own apps using mobile phones. They can upload it in Google Play Store. They can share it with their family, friends, etc. And the ideal opportunity for the children to make use of these gadgets for a good cause, good use. Okay, so these are the 5 points that why I suggest STEM as one of the skill that is going to dominate in the future. So hope it's clear. And how national educational policy is supporting STEM. So that is what now we will be going to look into that. So the NEP 2020 announced, right? So the main objective is to transform the education system to meet the 21st century skill set, right? So that is what the main intention. And now NEP is a policy that is positively reform the educational system of India. Okay, now today everybody talk about NEP 2020, but I am a person who has been waiting for this for the last 4 to 5 years. Okay, so in 2012, I read in a newspaper that Verizon was conducting a mobile app competition in US. And you won't believe that more than 3,500 students had submitted their mobile app. I read it on a newspaper. So I was just thinking, how come, school students, 3,500 school students, they can develop mobile app and they have participated in this competition. I was just, thinking, how could that be possible? That was the first time something, which I got into curious, and I started my research work, which is almost now 9 years back. I started my research work on STEM. So slowly, when I tried to explore more, I got that, okay, this is where, there is opportunity for the children where they could easily come into this and they're just going to enjoy this kind of learning. And at the end of the class or session, children are going to be well equipped in coding and kind of thing. That is what I understood. And I had a chance to visit and also had a chance to discuss, one of the student in Singapore. So, he was playing with a drone in a park. So I just checked with him, did you buy this drone? You know how it works? He told me, yes, I know that, and this is developed by myself. In 2015, I got this answer from him. Okay. So 2012, I first, read about that. And after that, I started my research. And in 2015, I got this, that he developed that drone. He coded that drone. Okay. And he is hardly 10 to 11 years old. So things like this inspired me, and I started working more and more on this. And I found out that in India, maybe I do not want to put in a percentage, but it's very, very low. When it comes to, in 2015, none of us know about coding that children could do. None of us know that robotics could be done by school students. And in 2016, when we tried to implement it in schools, the initial feedbacks were like how school children will be able to do this. You please visit engineering colleges. in 2016. But after that, yes, slowly there were some principals and some of the educational mentors. They had this experience of visiting outside India, and they have already done a few research on this, and they were looking for such kind of curriculum. And slowly we started meeting them, and today we have been established in different schools. But I'm the one who was expecting this national educational policy for the last 3-4 years. Finally, it has happened. So, I'm so glad that children will be definitely getting the benefit out of it. And we are also looking forward to, provide more such kind of programs for the school students and institutions. So the new structure aims at encouraging this, experiential learning, right? Critical learning objectives, the rote learning, right? So this rote learning is something that which pretty common with the students for generations, I would say, right? Suppose while learning, if I could not understand something or something that I had to assume and learn, that won't work out, right? Something that, okay, this could be like that. Oh, so I have to by heart this stuff, right? I have to by heart this stuff, and I have to vomit it in my paper answer sheet, right? So that is how this rote learning happens, and I'm not a big fan of that. Okay, I never by heart. I do not want to by heart, right? And this is one of the things that which you will not be able to remember for your life, correct? So you will not be able to apply that learning anywhere in your life, correct? So the ultimate idea and the goal of this new structure, which aims is not on rote learning. You have to do everything by understanding. You have to literally watch it through your eyes and learn the practical stuff. Should be a practical hands-on, and applying this kind of techniques, and it is called as the experiential learning. So this has to be adopted, and this is going to be the practical hands-on learning. So through this platform or through this idea, children should be engaged with the learning activity. So that is one point that I admire when it comes to NEP. Yes, because if you can ask any engineering student, there could be lots of subjects that would be coming. I think around 65 in my BTech and around 25 in my MTech. But there are a few papers that definitely I am not interested, and I do not want that in my whole lifetime. Okay, so the idea is take or select something that and that is not going to happen in engineering. Yes, because if you say electronics engineer, then you have to understand everything. You have to apply everything in all areas. But there are some of the papers that I always loved it. So for those papers, I will be scoring 90+ marks, because all those like kind of fun learning, or it could be like practical approach. So those papers I will be getting a very good marks. Otherwise, I will be just passing out. So if all the papers are going to be something like a practical kind of approach, or the papers that will be very much interesting, like coding stuff, you can write the code on the paper and you can score marks. So here and all, I'll be able to score marks. But if it is going to be reading and writing, then no, I will not be. So there are not only me, most of the children during in the schools, they are also like that. So if you teach them with this practical approach, with this experiential learning kind of thing, then definitely children will also be loving to coming to the school, to the class, and to the sessions what you are going to deliver on this particular topic inside the NEP lab, I would say, or it could be ATL lab, wherever it may be. But if you're going to change the educational teaching method or the curriculum, the pedagogy, then definitely this will be an ideal way for the children to love and learn the subject. And the new educational policy lays particular emphasis on the development of the creative potential of each area. It aims at the development, the holistic development of each and every child, for the holistic development. And they are also introducing this AI design thinking. Yes. So the emphasis on maths and computational thinking for AI, machine learning, data science will start on the foundational stage. Yeah, you cannot go and teach AI, machine learning directly to the children who are in schools, right? Because lots of things, AI means which is like advanced mathematics, and lots of things will be coming inside, and you will not be able to teach them directly. but we will be able to make them understand that this is how it happens through a proper foundational training. Okay, at the foundational stage, you have to teach them that the basics of coding, and slowly put them into the applications of coding. And you can also relate it with the live live scenarios where that this could be applied, and this is how the real scenario works, kind of explanations that you could do, and make sure that children is hooked to learn this advanced technologies. So my job is to find innovative ways of teaching, and I always find out every second I'll be thinking about the innovative method to teach children. In robotics and AI, I've been doing hundreds and hundreds of experiments. Been right now in front of me also, team is working on that. Hundreds of experiments keeping and they are delivering, coming out with new ways to teach children, where each and every experiment and every second has to be productive, and it should be very much encouraging and engaging for the students to learn and love the subject. So I think ma'am already had discussed about the foundational classroom 3 years, and for 3 plus to 5 years, then the preparatory, middle school, high school. So this is our new pedagogy, like new curriculum that this is going to come. And hope this is going to be enjoyable this thing for the children who are under this NEP. And there are some, this is something that textbook memorize, right, pass exam, forget the learning. This is the problem for the unemployment, right? Because children, they score very good marks, but after some time they forget that what they learned. But in the paper, they got 100 out of 100, right? So I think this new educational policy will be definitely changing this method, because assessment will also be conducting, lots of changes will again be coming. So I'm sure that, the assessment will be also a practical kind of knowledge, how much they have got. And see, I'll be talking more about STEM, but you need to find out which area is the real, interest for your child. Okay, so I told you that not many children could do. A children could do well in coding, but he will not be able to make music or dance. A children could do well in music, he will not be able to part in dance, right? So that you will have to find out the area of interest. And probably it's more like a formative, more competency-based, promotes learning development and higher order skills such as analysis, critical thinking, and conceptual clarity. More, I think, very deeply, ma'am had given a very good explanation for all these things. Okay, now how STEM is getting incorporated, or STEM is coming inside NEP. Okay, so as the NEP says that there is an opportunity for the students to explore coding and coming into this technical side. So STEM will be coming in this way. Okay, so that is the way where we are entering inside, and we have got our own, the kind of curriculum that children will be able to follow, and they are telling to start coding at a grade 6, but I'm sure that in the coming years it will be changed. It will be coming for the much younger stage, because the softwares what Google and Microsoft they are providing, that could be done for age 6, 7, 8 also. So hopefully, these are the changes that could come in the future. So that is how the STEM and everything are coming inside STEM, coding, robotics. Yeah. So this is how to make your child's career very successful. So this is like, find their area of interest at a very early age, create a passion in that area of interest. You find that he is doing good, then you have to create that kind of passion by giving him the opportunity, and by encouraging him, and by supporting him. And very few examples that achievers start their interest when they are very much young, right? Because you will be able to find out, definitely you'll be able to find out at a very young age that what he is going to be in the future. For example, there are many celebrities, the Sachin Tendulkar, who at a very early age he started batting, and Shashi Tharoor, he started writing his book at age 6, and today he has been one of the best speaker. So this kind of thing that you will be able to notice when you will be able to find out his area of interest. You will be able to notice somewhere at some point of time that you can just try it out. And if you're wrong, don't worry, then you will have to find out again that what is his area of interest, and support their dream and passion, and give them the responsibility and accountability, and let them learn from the failures. because failure is the best learning, what no one could teach like that. And travel with them during the failures and give them the confidence and let them come back stronger, much more than what he had approached in the previous time. So that is how, this is what my idea of how to get your child's career successful. And there are, like, I have been training many students, hundreds of students. I take them to national level competitions in robotics, coding, etc. But there are, like, also I have to think about the other students where they fail in the competitions. So although I'll be pretty much happy that out of 200 students, if 150 students they are going instead, I also have to plan for the other 50 students where how I can take them when it comes to the next competition. So that is how, as a parent, as a teacher, and we will have to work out in that area. We're focusing on every child's, because the competition is just, it is over, just done, but they have to win in their life. So that is what the ultimate intention of educators like us. And one more thing is that how much the age is not a factor. I just want to tell you, because I've seen in front of me, I've seen that 10-year-old kids, they are doing machine learning industry projects. Yes, this is possible. The thing is, like, you have to create, if you follow that whatever points I have told before, then definitely it is possible to make your child at a very young age, they will become a master in that. But it is again going to be dependent on, like, his passion and other factors. But yes, this is achievable. And my few inputs for STEM educators would be, like, I've seen that a couple of educators have also joined in today's class. So I was expecting more, but however, I just would like to share. First of all, if you are a STEM educator, first you have to love the subject. I'm sure that you would, but still I would like to share it. And you also again have to love to teaching, okay? Because not many teachers could become a good technical person, or very good technologist could be a good teacher. But we have to be a blended way, that you should love to teach, at the same time you have to be the best in the market when it comes to technical expertise. And always you are going to be the future of, you are actually holding the hands of the future India. So keeping that in mind, always give your best. And let us try to bring the change in the education system and change the existing learning behavior. The change in the existing behavior, which means everything, because I'm developing my curriculum will be like everything, you have to see it through your eyes. It is not just assuming, okay? Assume this. No talk about assuming. Everything has to be seen in front of your eyes, okay? Suppose if I am teaching a self-driving car also, I want to make a miniature model of a self-driving car in my lab, and I want to show it to the students that how it works. So that is how the curriculum has to be. So bring such ideas and implement it in the education system. And so that children will also be hooked, and they will also be enjoying the session, and in that way you will be able to inspire the students, and they are just going to very good version of themselves. And bring the significant change. Yeah, passion to learn it, that every child's mindset has to be like, I want to learn more. Today also I did not announce the holiday, because if I am announcing holiday for a children, then they will be coming up saying that no, we do not want to miss, so that is why we never give holidays, and it's online, so they can attend anytime. So that's how bring them that kind of passion. They want the classes to be taken by us, okay? That kind of attitude that you have to bring, okay? So next is, like, always teach with relevant examples and show them with the practical sessions, and give them more problems to solve, okay? Always give them more problems, because giving them more problems to solve is what make them an expert. And you should always be an inspiration for them, because they are actually following you. So you should inspire them each and every second throughout your teaching methods, and engage them throughout your content. And this is what my advice to the educators. Yeah, STEM as a subject, what would be the learning outcomes? So it's going to be activity-based sessions, highly hands-on experience. There's going to be a head start for the higher level graduation, yes. So in future, if you want to do your MS or MTech in robotics, something like that, then yes, this is an ideal opportunity for you to get into this and learn something, that is going to definitely help you. If you have done all the basic that has been, learned in the school, then in the college days, you are going to be the topper, no doubt about that. And in fact, if you are the topper, then you will be getting various opportunities from some of the big companies around the globe, right? So these are the things that we want to convey to the parents as well. And develops critical thinking, so problem solving, and enable the learner to develop and express creativity and ability to work collaboratively in teams. Yeah. So I will be making a team, and I want them to come out with their ideas of developing projects, implementing it, etc. And there are also intuitive, how you understand the concepts in science and maths and apply it. Then appreciate and realizing the technology. And we also have this project presentation kind of thing, where they come and present in front of the panel and other audiences. Through that, their confidence will be coming up. And but the confidence goes sky high, actually. If they do 2 or 3 times, then their confidence will be sky high. And in today's world, you need to sell the product. Otherwise, there is no respect in any company. You always have to bring that kind of business to the company. And it's like, if you are a product based, service based, doesn't matter. You have to sell the product or service that what is your company is offering, right? So these things will be coming where inside this presentation kind of thing. So that is one thing that every children should also be equipped along with the technical skill or whatever it may be. But these are the areas that we focus on, where which comes as an learning outcome as part of our STEM curriculum. And people are asking about like fourth industrial revolution. So these are some of the areas. They are going to have a massive these are going to be the massive opportunity for the children to get into. So are our students ready to face this technology giants in the industry? That is the question here. But I'm sure that not many, I would say. Every day I could see that people are jobless. Recently also I could see one of the engineer who is actually been working as a receptionist in a hotel. And so the reason is like they think the students are not updated with the technology what has been coming on their way. So suddenly if I ask them to go and learn AI, he will not be able to do it, because he don't know the basics of AI. Basics of AI means at least you should know how to do code in Python. Okay, so if he knows to do Python, then he will be able to go to AI, machine learning, all these things. But if he does not know that, then how he will be able to compete in the market, or how will be able to get placed in a company? This is the reason. So this one, parents need to understand. Put them. If you think that your kid is going to be in these areas which is there on the screen, then let them explore this STEM curriculum as early as possible. And IoT, IoT is another area. The compound annual growth rate is expected to be every year it is growing at 20%. And Ericsson, which is actually a telecommunication provider, in terms of the hardware, network service, something like that. So they are also expecting, their business revenue might, take a big advantage of getting a growth rate of 30%. Because IoT, which means Internet of Things, everything is going to be in internet. Okay, everything is going to be in internet, and you just need one device in your hand to operate it, control it, etc. Okay, so just using a mobile or laptop, that you will be able to make your job done. So this is called as IoT. And this one area that this is going to have another big opportunity for the students. Okay. So next is like, this is robotics and AI like going to take few other jobs which are going to be automated in few areas. So this is again the CAGR is 37.3%, and 45% of the organizations say that they have already scaled up. Everywhere you could see AI, everywhere the existing system is getting changed, because they need to track on these things. If they are not changing, then their business may not be able to scale up. So that is the reason why every companies, they are fastly moving and changing their ecosystem, which has been built by AI and machine learning kind of thing. So my syllabus, like how we do the curriculum. Okay, for age 6 and 7, we have got that basic assembling skills. Let them explore, give them the blocks and let them build, come out with a product using the blocks. Tell them to build a bridge kind of thing, and let them come up, let them think, let them create, innovate. So all these things will happen for age 6 and 7. Then we teach this. So here also, you can see that these are things that will come, because they also need to explain what they did. So there, at age 6 7 itself, we start doing this communication skill. But for online program that we are doing for age 8, just because of that operation of laptop, etc. and all. But online we are doing it for age 8. So pathway, like how we'll be doing it. It gives you the skills on motoring skills, because the kit what you have, where they will be able to put the battery, connecting the wires, and putting the blocks together, motors, gears, etc., and making it as a functional one. That is how they explore the engineering, this thing. Then it's like at age 8 we start teaching the coding, and I told you there are some amazing softwares available, like from Google and Microsoft. You can explore it, basically it will be a block based coding. You don't have to write the code, you can just drag and drop it. So children, once they understand, okay, this is the kind of thing that I have to drag inside and to make my project working, then always they will be able to remember it as well. They will be just dragging it and they make that particular program working fine. So it is a very easy for the children to remember, and they will be able to come up with some awesome projects that have been seen through these softwares. We call it as MIT App Inventor. There are Scratch codings, and there are many other, which like Microsoft also has its products for children. Most of the things could be that you will be able to do it free of cost. Now you can also apply this knowledge, the basic block based software knowledge. Okay, this knowledge can be applied in online robotics tools like Lego Robotics, Arduino Robotics. So what happens here, at age 8 9 10 itself, they know how to code and how to make your robots moving, how to make your robots working, how robots do the task. That is the beautiful concept, because whatever it may be, if he is learning and if he is able to apply that learning and see this particular robot work, that is how he starts loving the subject. So just learning the code, seeing the outputs, that doesn't work. They need to see literally how this code is being implemented here, how it is working here. So that is how I relate this block-based coding with this robotics, and children will be able to come up with some beautiful robotics projects. So animation, games, they start thinking like a coder, and they think like a professional. When we give some task, they need to think like a professional coder, and this is for the and again they will be learning about the technology, and a huge amount of knowledge builds up. And when it comes to the advanced thing that we delivered in school students, so lots of things come inside. But here again, we will be checking the area of interest, whether he wants to go into robotics hardware stuff, or he wants to go into the the software stuff like machine learning, data science. So we will be able to make a decision on his area of interest, and accordingly we will be giving him the training, and that's how we deliver. And basically the kit based practical learning, which means we have to we have to teach them everything through the every practical output has to be seen through eyes, which means how your LED glows and how self-driving cars work. So all these things to be seen practically through your eyes, then only the understanding will be clear for the children, so that it will be very much engaged for them to explore more, and they'll be able to solve the problems inside this. So that's how in the syllabus will be. So here actually the pathway will be like, we convert them as a tech user to tech creator. All our children right from age 8, they are actually developing or creating their own stuff. So we call them as a tech user to tech creator, and we will also be giving them a project based fun approach learning. So as I told you that one of our main objective is to do through project based thing. and there will also be, I told you that they need to sell the product, right? So that is what one skill that you wanted in the coming years. In any company you go, you have to sell their product or service, or you become an entrepreneur, you still have to sell your product. So there is no other way, and that will be taken care in some of the areas. And again, yeah, do it yourself projects, live projects, and industry hands-on experience, and finally this entrepreneurship development program. So all these things collaboratively that make a student to become an expert in this particular field, and also how to deliver in his future. So that is how the curriculum and everything will be coming. So this is that particular skill that creates critical thinkers, increases science literacy, and enables the next generation of innovators and IR for experts. If India needs to evolve, I'm telling this on the Republic Day. So if India needs to evolve, then yes, more children should come to STEM, and more children should start learning about the technology, exploring it, and becoming an expert in these fields. And they need to deliver it for India. So that's how I conclude, and I hope you all had got some insights about STEM and its applications. So questions can be asked.
Thank you, Mr. Rajasekharan. That was truly an enlightening experience. This brings us to the end of this webinar. We sincerely hope you had an informative and thought-provoking session with us today. On behalf of eDrona, we would like to thank once again Ms. Dr. Deepa Chandran and Mr. Rajasekharan for leading this session in such a wonderful manner. And also thank everyone who took time out to attend the session and make it a success. Thank you, everyone. Jai Hind.
Thank you.